Winter is often seen as beautiful: snow-covered landscapes, quiet forests, frozen lakes. But extreme cold doesn't just freeze the land, it freezes choices, judgment, and sometimes survival itself. In tonight's video, we're exploring 3 disturbing true winter horror stories, real events where snow, isolation, and human desperation created terrifying outcomes. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy true stories that blur the line between nature and nightmare. Let's start with one of the most unsettling mysteries ever recorded in frozen terrain. In February of 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on a ski expedition in the Ural Mountains of the former Soviet Union. They were young, skilled, and well prepared for winter conditions. They never came back. When rescue teams finally reached their campsite weeks later, what they found still haunts investigators today. The hikers' tent had been cut open from the inside, as if they were desperate to escape. Shoes, coats, and supplies were left behind, despite temperatures plunging below -30 degrees Celsius. The bodies were discovered scattered across the snow, some miles from the tent. Several were barefoot. Others were wearing clothing that clearly belonged to someone else. Some victims showed no external injuries, yet had internal damage comparable to a high-impact crash. One had a fractured skull, another had crushed ribs. No signs of a struggle, no clear footprints of attackers. Perhaps most disturbing, traces of radiation were later detected on some clothing. Official reports ruled the deaths as caused by an unknown compelling force. To this day, theories range from avalanches to military testing, infrasound panic, and even classified experiments. But one fact remains chillingly certain. These hikers fled their shelter into a frozen wilderness, and something terrified them enough to do so. In 1846, a group of American pioneers known as the Donner Party set out westward toward California. Their journey began with hope, families, and supplies meant to last months, but one decision sealed their fate. They chose a shortcut through the Sierra Nevada mountains, unaware winter would arrive early and violently. Heavy snow trapped the group in the mountains, cutting them off from civilization entirely. Weeks turned into months. Food ran out. Horses died. Rescue attempts failed. As temperatures dropped and starvation set in, survivors faced unthinkable choices. Diaries recovered years later described hallucinations, extreme weakness, and the crushing silence of endless snow. Only 48 of the original 87 survived. The Donner Party became one of the most infamous winter survival tragedies in history, not because of monsters or mystery, but because cold erased every safety net humanity relies on. The horror wasn't sudden, it was slow, quiet, and unavoidable. In the 1930s, a fur trapper traveling through northern Canada arrived at a small Inuit village near Anjikuni Lake. The village was completely abandoned. Food was still cooking. Weapons were stacked neatly. Blankets lay folded inside empty homes. No signs of struggle, no bodies. Even the dogs, normally essential for Arctic survival, were found dead nearby. The strangest part? The villagers had left during the heart of winter, without taking supplies. Local elders insisted the entire community had vanished overnight. Some reports claimed unusual lights in the sky. Others blamed starvation or relocation. Official explanations were vague and inconsistent. While some historians debate the details today, the story became one of the most disturbing legends ever tied to winter isolation. A reminder that entire communities can disappear in frozen silence. Whether myth or truth, Anjikuni Lake represents a powerful fear. When winter closes in, help may never come. What connects these stories isn't just snow or cold. It's isolation. Winter doesn't attack quickly. It waits. It dulls the senses, weakens the body, and turns small mistakes into fatal ones. In freezing conditions, fear becomes louder, and survival becomes uncertain. These were 3 disturbing true winter horror stories, Proof that sometimes nature itself is the most terrifying force of all.